Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
보이스피싱 전화 올 땐 전화 끊고 확인하기. 택배 주소 오류 사기, 인터넷 주소 클릭 안 돼.
늘 의심하고 꼭 전화 끊고 또 확인하고.
보이스피싱에 눈을 뜨며
예방책이 보입니다.
공익광고협의회.
Coming up next is Inside Busan with Min-Soo Shin. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
Hello, and welcome to the show. This is Inside Busan, and I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Now, you've probably heard of open runs, right? Where you get up super early before like a store, a bakery, or a department store even opens just to be the first to get a specific thing, like a product. Now, these days, hospitals also have open runs. Now, this is mainly due to office workers who find it very challenging to take sick leave. 아침에 빨리 가서 치료받는 거죠. Also, there are even reports of part-time jobs emerging for queuing up at pediatric departments. 소아과 줄서기 알바 instead of the parents. 부모로서 이 상황은 조금 걱정이 됩니다.
똑바로 해, 넌 정말 bad boy. 사랑보단 호기심뿐. 그동안 난 너 때문에 깜빡 속았어 넘어간 거야. 넌 재미없어, 매너 없어. 넌 devil, 넌. 네 핸드폰 수많은 남자, 한 글자만 바꾼 여자. 내 코까지 역겨운 perfume, 누구 건지 설명해봐. 넌 나는 누구 만나니 끔찍한 그거를 못 고쳤니? 아파도 손바닥 아닌걸. You better run. 나는 못 바꿔도 찾을래. You better run. 내 붙여봐도 관심 가질래. 더 멋진 내가 되는 날 갚아주겠어. 잊지 마. You better run. 약 올렸어. Run, devil, run. 내 곁에서 살며시 흘길 다른 여자 꼭 훑어봐. 나 없을 땐 넌 super playboy. 고개 들어 대답해봐. 넌 재미없어, 매너 없어. 넌 devil, 넌. You better run. 더는 못 바꿔도 찾을래. You better run. 붙잡아도 관심 꺼둘래. 더 멋진 내가 되는 날 갚아주겠어. 잊지 마. You better run.
You better run, 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 devil run by 소녀시대. A bit of a throwback for you to start off our show. Welcome to the program. This is 인싸의학 Busan. I'm your host, 민수신. 반갑습니다, 여러분. 환영합니다. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are running these days. Specifically, open run 하는 분들 좀 많습니다. You know, like open runs. Here in Korea, they're referred to people getting up and going out pretty early, you know, to whatever store, whatever business. They either want to be first in line to receive product/service, because maybe it's something that, you know, usually runs out, or there's just so many people. Even if you arrive just when a business, a place opens, there are already so many people ahead of you, right? Now, recent research, it revealed that due to a shortage of hospitals as well as pediatricians, there is a significant influx of patients, especially on Mondays, especially on Monday mornings. So this open run phenomenon is occurring on various weekdays at hospitals. Yeah, for, you know, adults, not only adults, but for kids as well. Additionally, as people are, you know, now you're more used to taking off your masks, there's a rise in cold and flu cases. I'm sure you very much noticed, right? Around you, here at our radio station, yeah. If, I don't know, there's various hosts, various reporters, I am confident to say at least like 80% of them caught something in the past couple of months. And folks, if you've been tuning in for the last couple of months, you know I've had a pretty bad when it came to the cough, right? However, from endemic, you know, in this period, many office workers find it difficult to take sick leave because it's like weird to say that you're sick now. Like the pandemic's over, right? Everybody, you know, got the shots and everything. This has resulted in delayed medical attention as well as worsening symptoms for folks who have caught the cold or the flu. Now, to avoid drawing attention at work, some people have decided to schedule hospital visits before they go into the office. 요즘 출근 시간이 몇 시죠? 9시잖아요. 8시나 뭐 8시 반에 문 여는 병원들 많진 않을 건데, it's like these are the hospitals and clinics that they find because there's not a lot of them. I'm pretty sure that, you know, like most hospitals, where the hospitals I go to, I don't go to any other hospitals except the ones I usually go to, they all open at 9. So pretty much, you know, these office workers, they either have to go in late or they all have to find hospitals that open early. And there's not a lot of them, right? So, of course, everybody's going to flock to those early opening hospitals and clinics. 네, 병원 오픈런, 마감런이라고도 부릅니다. Because they also go after work. 이 시간 끝나고 가면 it's like sometimes busier than in the morning times. Now, it's like that for, let's say, adults. For kids, even more serious. With the shortage of pediatricians, this is causing a lot of difficulties for parents as well as the kids seeking medical care, especially on weekends. 저는 주말에 한번 병원 가봤거든요. Ridiculous. Just how much people are spewing out of these children's hospitals. Now, in smaller cities, some resort to looking for part-time workers to stand in line at pediatric departments instead of like, let's say, dual income parents, because they both have to be at work. 저도 낮에 요즘 좀 뭐 할까 고민 중인데 저도 차라리 이거 할까? Waiting in line for parents, you know, because there's so many people trying to get their kid to see a doctor. So it wasn't too long ago that this term open run was first used in Korea, right? Now, open run once again describes the act of standing in a line, eagerly waiting to enter either a restaurant, shop, or other places as soon as they open. And the reason why people do open runs, you know, offers self-satisfaction and a very unique experience for those willing to stand in line for hours just for a few moments of gratification from whatever they purchase. So, question for you, 질문입니다. Have any of you joined an open run at any store, popular restaurants, shops? I'm really curious as to your open run experience. 혹시 여러분 뭐 핫플레이스나 뭐 맛집, 오픈런 경험을 뭐 가져봤습니까? 오픈런 해봤습니까? I myself have done a couple of open runs I will share with you later on in the program, but I'm curious as to your open run experience here in Busan, here in Korea. Get in touch with us, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's for text messages. It will cost you 100 won. Or if you want to chat with us for free, you could hop on the Kakao Talk, search for BFM 부산영어방송 there, chat with us. As well, we're live on our YouTube. Then search for BFM 부산영어방송 on our YouTube. Click the live tab, and then you will open up to see my pretty face. We already have Momo님 saying hello. Momo님, 안녕하십니까? How are you? Do you have an open run experience? Let us know. Let's get to News Bites. Time for News Bites with BFM newscaster Kate Shin. Good evening, Kate.
Good evening, Minsu.
Thank you so much for coming in. How is your evening?
Going great so far.
Yeah, it's good to hear. So, headline making news from Korea and around the world with News Bites, our daily segment. Let's get to our first piece of news.
So, in recent developments, President Yoon Suk-yeol has pledged robust retaliation against North Korea in response to any provocation, highlighting the government's unique strategy. Meanwhile, Kim Jong-un has announced plans to revise the constitution, officially designating the South as the primary foe. Tensions are on the rise, particularly after North Korea conducted recent artillery and missile tests near the Western Sea border.
Okay, so we're seeing responses from both sides. So what is our country's stance then when it comes to our maritime borders? You know, when it comes to the provocations as well as embracing North Korean citizens as tensions rise?
In a recent North Korean statement, Kim has rejected the recognition of the Northern Limit Line, or NLL, the inter-Korean maritime border, deeming it a political provocation. On the other hand, Yoon, South Korea's leader, has chosen to dismiss traditional peace tactics and underscores the importance of defending the NLL. Despite heightened tensions, he urges unity against North Korean propaganda.
Okay.
And he also makes a clear distinction between the regime and the citizens of North Korea, advocating for embracing the people of North Korea. Additionally, he proposes the designation of a special day to acknowledge and support defectors from North Korea.
Okay. So it seems, of course, with the provocations and anything, conflicts that might arise, you know, defense, protecting our country is of the utmost priority. But when it comes to embracing people that, you know, decide to seek refuge here in South Korea, it seems like the administration is opening its arms for that. Thank you so much. What's next?
It has been reported that South Korea and the United States have agreed to commence early negotiations for the 12th Special Measures Agreement, or SMA, on defense cost sharing, which is set to be applied from 2026. According to diplomatic sources today, South Korea and the United States are in agreement to start negotiations for the 12th SMA sometime this year. The SMA is an agreement that specifies the amount South Korea will bear in the cost of hosting U.S. forces.
Okay.
The two countries concluded the 11th SMA applicable for the years 2020 to 2025 in year 2021.
All right. Now, with the SMA, of course, cooperation from both sides. But when it comes to negotiations, I'm sure they do have in mind, you know, the change in presidential administrations that might be taking place in the coming months over in the U.S. So is there any, I guess, thoughts or any actions, efforts in that regard?
So commencing discussions for the next SMA almost 2 years ahead of the 11th SMA's expiration is considered unusual. Some observers speculate that this proactive move may be anticipating the potential return of Donald Trump to the presidency in the upcoming November election. Past negotiations during the Trump administration posed challenges with demands for a substantial increase in South Korea's contribution. Despite concerns about a gap in the agreement, negotiations concluded a year and a half later following the change in U.S. administration. The early talks for the 12th SMA are viewed as an attempt to mitigate potential alliance impacts if Trump regains power. though it remains uncertain whether the agreement will be finalized by year end.
So it looks like they're trying to push through with it, but we're going to have to see, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, speaking of Trump, we're going to move on to our international news. Any more updates on, him that you want to share?
Former President Trump expressed confidence in early predictions and declared victory in an interview with Fox News, considering it a great honor. His anticipated win, evident since the Republican primaries, was solidified before the caucuses. Despite legal challenges and controversies, his strong support from the Republican Party propelled him to success.
Okay, so I'm sure, with this, various states and parties will be concerned. So tell us a bit about that. And I guess with any challenges that might come when it comes to the political landscape with Trump now saying that he's going to be really in it.
So major U.S. media outlets such as Associated Press and CNN declared Trump's victory in Iowa just 31 minutes into the voting process. Although Trump has a robust conservative support in Iowa, there are growing concerns about his performance in the New Hampshire primary due to a significant presence of moderate voters. The candidacy of former Ambassador Nikki Haley, backed by the anti-Trump faction, adds to the challenges. The Wall Street Journal indicates potential difficulties for Trump in New Hampshire despite his current overall dominance. Notably, conservative figure Ramaswamy of Indian descent resigned but endorsed Trump, further solidifying Trump's overwhelming candidacy, as reported by the Associated Press wire service.
All right. So the latest, not only on, Trump, but also just what's been going down as we get closer. I know it's only into January, but news on, the general elections, the presidential elections in the U.S. This coming November. That's the latest on that. We'll have more to come. That'll do it for today's News Bites. Kate, thank you so much. We'll see you back here tomorrow, okay?
See you tomorrow.
Let's take a quick song break. This is the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Universally Speaking. Red Hot Chili Peppers with Universally Speaking. 6:29 here in the studio. Welcome to our number one of Inside Out Busan, and I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Let me fill you in on the weather as well as the traffic here in Busan City. Our city currently averaging 7 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow's weather forecast predicts cloud cover persisting throughout the day. It's pretty cold this morning, right? But tomorrow it'll be a little warmer, it seems like. Morning low of 4 and afternoon high of 13. Also expect the weather to change throughout the day with higher chance of rain later at night, particularly in the late hours. Okay? 내일은 종일 흐리겠고요. 밤 늦게부터 비가 오겠습니다. 그래서 여러분 난리 챙기세요. When it comes to the traffic, we have congestion on 황령대로 from Daenam Junction going towards 49호 광장. There's also congestion on 연수로 from 연제구청 going towards 배산 Station. And then we have slow-moving traffic on 해운대로 from 3호 가든 앞 junction going towards Olympic Junction. And unfortunately, a report of an accident. We have a two-car collision. This is on 수영로 from KBS three-way intersection going towards 좋은강안병원. That collision happened in the second and third lanes right before 좋은강안병원. Okay, I frequent that portion of the road, of the street a lot. It gets backed up anyway, but then now it's backed up even more because of this accident. So everybody, drive safe. 안전운전 부탁드리겠습니다. All right, so question for our listeners. Have you done an open run before? Okay, so if you don't know what an open run is, a term that's been here in Korea not for too long. Okay, maybe like open run has been here for quite a while, but like a name for it has recently come up because when you first think open run. Yeah, if those that have done open runs before, you think, oh, like 백화점 open run, 뭐 빵집 open run도 요즘 있잖아요. 왜냐면 빵 they sell out fast. Take it from me. Right? There's also various shops, various restaurants that have a lot of people waiting in line before the store even opens just to make sure that they get this product or this service, one, before anybody else, and two, before it sells out. This is the open run experience. But these days, it's not just for products and services. Well, particularly a different kind of service. Now, a lot of workers, right, here in South Korea are doing open runs where? At hospitals. 병원에서 요즘 오픈 런이 그렇게 많이 한대요. So because of office workers, they get sick these days. There's still that thing going around. We have Haley here in the studio raising her hand already. 손 들고 있어요. Haley 많이 아프죠? 많이 아팠죠?
I'm okay now.
네, you're okay
yes,
now.
Thank you.
But Haley, like I said, I mentioned 80. I confidently said 80% of people here at BEFM they caught something in the past. Like 2-3 months.
I make one of the 80%. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Haley, probably she went 2 rounds of it. 한 번 걸리고 그다음에 또 뭐 다른 거 걸리고.
Yeah, I think so. Or it just never got better.
맞아요.
I'm at the tail end of it, and
네.
that is a long, long tail like a peacock's. But there's an ENT doctor right next to my academy who's great. And I think word got out that he's great because I did an openish run.
아, 해봤어요.
네, 9시에 여는데 I went there at 9:10. I was number 17.
9. And what time does it open?
9.
9.
9.
그렇죠. 그러면
Yeah.
그분들 아마 8시 한 반이나 8시 한 20분쯤에.
I think so.
네.
I mean, I figured. So the next time,
Yeah.
I was like, maybe it was just like an open run effect. So people just rushed in the morning.
Yeah.
So I went in the afternoon. I was number 13. So,
맞아요.
yeah.
So open run at hospitals, it's crazy these days, but not only for adults, but for kids.
Oh, it's worse for kids.
We've talked about the lack of pediatricians and kid doctors these days, right? I mean, doctors for kids, not kid
Not like
doctors.
Doogie Howser.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of lack of them, now parents, they either have to take a day off from work just to get their kid to see a doctor.
My friend who has, I believe her daughter is 18 months old. They used to have to do an open run.
Yeah.
And a friend, their friend that lives near the hospital, near the doctor's office, went there at 5 in the morning. They were barely in number 10.
Oh my
spot.
gosh.
So these days, because of all the hospital open runs, there's
Yeah.
this particular app that you have to pay 1,000 won per month. It basically, it is, one of those restaurant lining apps
네.
for doctors' offices.
네.
And most doctors' offices will use that particular system to line people up. And parents, like on principle, they don't want to pay, although it's only 1,000원, but they kind of have to because what are you going to do? Line up at 5?
그래 말이에요.
Yeah.
5 in the morning lining up for a hospital. I mean, this is the situation
it's the
that we're in.
realities, yeah.
네.
Yeah.
We also have 모모님 on our YouTube saying 점포동에 있는 해와 제과.
You can't read all of that. I know that place. It's starred on my map.
Oh, it's actually a name for
It's
it.
actually a name. Yeah, you can't read all of that.
땡땡 제과빵 살려고 오픈런 한번 해봤어요.
거기 오픈런 해야 돼요?
아,
I didn't know. I mean, it's just starred. I know it's really good.
네.
I haven't been.
네.
I'll keep that in mind.
저도 좋아하는 빵집 있는데 근데 직접 가는 것보다
Do you order?
앱으로 오픈
Nice.
아니에요, right?
Nice.
She also added 줄 서 있는데 현타가 와서 이제 안 해요. 맞아요. 너무 힘들잖아요.
Right? And it never tastes good
네.
when you buy it. Like, it never exceeds the expectations. So I went to, there's this famous place in Kijang for, the 소금방, the salty, buttery bread. I went there. It wasn't an open run, but there was just a ton of people. And I bought it and I tried it. I'm like, it's not worth the 30-minute wait in line. But then recently, one of my friends brought it for me because I have nice friends. And I was like, this is delicious.
Yeah.
It tastes so much better than when I actually went there and bought it. Because guess what? I didn't have to line up for
그래
it.
말이에요. 그만큼 힘들고 after you wait 피곤하니까.
And I was like, oh, this is the taste of like 날로 먹는 맛.
맞아요. That craving and that drive for whatever that you want to eat or purchase, like after you get it, it's like,
It's like, was it worth it? Was it?
is this it?
Should I have stayed
이거야?
home?
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? A couple open run experience for me. I did it at a donut shop, but worth it for me.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like it's not the usual Korean donuts that you
I
find
see,
here in
I
Korea.
see.
But 모모님 continues to say 오로지 소아과만 오픈런 합니다. 네, 소아과 요즘 사람들 많죠, 애들 많죠. Keep those messages coming in. I would love to hear about your open run experiences, but we do have to get to today's 5분 상식. Time for today's 5분 상식, getting you in the know of some of the most trending, useful, need-to-know words, expressions, and ideas. 5분만 들으면 유식해지는 시간인데요. 네, 오늘은요. 눈만 보게 되는 스키장에 광각막염 주의보가 내렸습니다. 이에 대해 알아보도록 하겠습니다.
This is so much fun. 민수, I love skiing. I love you. I love skiing with you.
허리야.
하늘을 봐, 하얗게. Woo.
I never thought falling could be this much fun, Haley. I can't believe I'm learning to ski.
Isn't it great? Trust me. Just wait. You'll get the hang of it. Relax, breathe, go with the flow. Shoop, shoop. See, you're getting better.
근데 자기야, we've been skiing for 10 hours straight right now. How about a quick break? When you only ski, you seem like 군대 조교.
What did you say?
하나, 둘.
Are you a quitter? What did you say? What?
무서워.
Oh, but honey, if you want, we can take a break. Honey, 자기야, 나 좀 봐봐라.
자기야, I can't see you clearly, Haley. Hey, Haley, where are you? 어떡해? I think I have 광각막염. The snow is blinding me. 안 보여.
뭐라카노? 광? Like crazy? What are you talking about? Just catch me.
아니야, 자기야, 진짜로. Seriously, I'm not making it up. My vision is blurry. Everything looks so bright. And, I'm tearing up right now. What's these tears?
Oh my God, you're such a crybaby. Literally, stop crying and stop making excuses, Minsu. If you don't want to do it, just say you don't want to do it.
I'm not lying. I genuinely cannot see. 자기야, 내 눈 봐봐. Look at my eyes. My eyes are bloodshot. Haley, 나 진짜 심각한 것 같아. I need to take a break or something. 제발
Yeah,
좀
we
쉬자.
need a break.
좀 누워.
I need
눕고
a
싶어.
break from you.
눕고 싶어. 제발 그래, break해. 와,
Are we broken up?
아니.
Can I start seeing other people? Can I start seeing better skiers?
My eyes are bloodshot red. I'm saying I can't see. I'm blinded, and you're
Stop playing
worried.
games at night, and your eyes won't be so bloodshot. Oh my
맞네요.
God.
어떻게 알았어요? So right now, I think it's a great time for skiing. A couple people here at BFM recently told me they visited like a ski resort, and like the noon, not the noon, the snow was powdery perfection. They say, but. On these ski trips or snow trips, a lot of people, their eyes get really red and really teary, right? Making it hard to just see in general. So what could be the reason for this?
I mean, it could be snow or ice getting into your eyes, but if these symptoms happen a lot, you might have 광각막염, which is photokeratitis. And similar term is 설맹증, which is snow blindness. So that is a burn on your cornea that's caused by prolonged exposure of your eyes to the UV rays, especially after activities like skiing, snowboarding, basically anywhere where you are around a lot of snow. So symptoms show up to 8 to 12 hours later, and they include irritated eyes, tearing up, you have trouble opening your eyes, redness, and this gritty feeling that something's in your eyeballs. And in severe cases, the retina can swell, and it can even cause temporary blindness.
Pretty serious, right? Now, I thought 광각막염, photokeratitis, mainly occurs in intense sunlight during summer because it's like that's why you have everybody like squinting all the time. Now, why do we need to be cautious about it in winter as well? 겨울에도 주의해야 합니까?
Yes, you do, because in summer, we do usually take precautions. By the way, the alternative to squinting is throwing on a pair of sunglasses over your eyeballs. And blocking UV rays, and you wear sunscreen and all that. But winter, we don't as much. By the way, I just recently started, don't yell at me, wearing sunscreen in winter as well. Because guess what? There's still sun. And then I was also told, me being from Seattle, the city of clouds and rain, during overcast days, there's even higher concentration of UV lights in the air because clouds reflect the sun. So you can get sunburned as well. So the UV reflectance from soil or concrete surfaces is about 10%. But on snow, because it's white, we learned white reflects light. It's about 80% reflection.
Wow.
So during the winter, they can actually irritate your eyes even more. So it's important to be cautious because, neglecting protection, just going bare-eyed, especially when you're going skiing, it could lead to, ulcers on your cornea and cataract. And by the way, us in Busan, we are so not used to the snow.
맞아요.
So our eyes are extra sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because we're not so used to snow, we go out to see snow.
And you just stare at it. You're like, what is this amazing whiteness?
Oh, 재밌다.
And it's like, why can't I
and
see?
then like you're blinded, especially like if you have to drive and stuff. It's
Yeah.
pretty dangerous. So you mentioned photokeratitis. During winter, wear sunglasses outside. Is that the only way that we could prevent it?
Protection. So if you're going somewhere snowy, sunglasses or goggles that can block UV rays. If you've forgot them, then take breaks. Look at something green. Look at something that's not white and rest indoors when your eyes hurt. And for goodness sake, stop looking at your cell phone screen because that's not good either.
Oh yeah, right. 가끔씩 그냥 눈 감고 make a snow angel or something. If you're in the snow, right?
There we go.
We have 토끼님 saying 두 사람 스키 케미에 오늘도 applause. 네, 민수님 진짜 핑계 같은데요.
I know, right? He
아니요,
does this
토끼님
all the
생각해보세요.
time.
눈이 빨갛고 10시간 동안 스키를 계속 타고 있는데 브레이크 한 번도 안 해준대요.
You're so lazy.
그렇게 돈 아까워요?
You're so lazy.
그렇게 시간하고 돈 아깝습니까, 헤일리?
Yes.
배도 고프고 한데 한 번도 브레이크 안 해준대. 네, 오늘의 5분 상식 광각막염 photokeratitis는요. 눈이 자외선에 장시간 노출됐을 때 각막에 화상을 입은 것을 말합니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리, 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 저 그 라디오라도 좀.
그래, 라디오.
네가 저번 주에 심참인 것 같네.
22번 훈련병!
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요.
TMI Busan.
All right, folks, time for TMI with Haley. Continues to be with us here in the studio. Hello, Haley.
Hi.
Hi.
Still here.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us today. Real quick, I want to get to a message before it's too late from 융카라님 saying 제 딸도 손녀 데리고 매번 소아과 오픈런 해요. 소아과도 땡땡 테이블 같은 어플 있으면 좋겠어요. So you mentioned that application, right?
Yes.
But you have to pay 1,000원, so like
Well,
that
it's
monthly fee.
per month, I believe. So I mean, honest, if you're not going to sit there for 2 hours and wait, it
Yeah.
might be worth the 1,000원.
Yeah.
And so most parents do it, but we can get into a whole thing about, what about seniors, people who
맞아요.
don't have cell phones under their names and all
네.
that. But yes, there is.
맞아요. 그래서 카라님, 우리 딸 꼭 이 앱에서 있다고 일단 말씀해 주세요. 검색은 알아서 해라라고 전화해 주시면 됩니다.
소아과 대기 앱.
There you go, right? We even looked it up for you. Okay, all you have to do is type. All right, let's get to today's TMI. Too much information coming out of Busan, but good information.
Indeed. So first up, it is winter break. As a parent,
네.
right? How are you? How are you doing?
와, 신난다.
Are those like bags I see under your eyes that weren't there before?
맞아요.
All right, for university students too, it's fun times, sort of course, with spring coming up soon, the new year. It's going to be tuition time soon. And of course, parents are working hard to get that going, or you're applying for financial aid. So there's a bit of conflict between the education ministry and universities over tuition. Especially universities because, it is the times being what they are. They want to raise tuition and the ministry wants to cap it. They want to keep it as is. So Busan National University, PNU, and Pugyong National University, PKNU, they recently announced that they will not be raising tuition. So good news if you are a PNU or PKNU student, your tuition will stay the same
Nice.
for undergrad. Slight increase in grad school tuition for Pugyong University.
안 가. 나 안 가.
받아준대. Also, Busan University of Foreign Studies froze their tuition as well. This is the 13th year in a row.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I mean, it's great for students
Yeah.
and parents that have to pay the tuition.
Yeah.
But 13 years in a row, I mean, universities have needs, including paying salaries of
Yeah.
faculty and staff, upkeep, maintenance, equipment. Because 13 years ago, weren't we on like the projector screens, like with the light bulb projectors?
Yeah, the one
and
they have to roll into the
the
classroom.
transparent slides.
Oh
And now
my
we're
gosh,
actually
good
like
times.
on the beam projectors.
네.
So equipment that you have to replace. So, they are taking quote unquote bone cutting measures to freeze tuition.
I
but
bet you this has
yeah.
led also to closures in like a couple departments.
Exactly, or minimization of departments.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I mean, this is a capitalist society. People would like to raise tuition, but the education ministry is just kind of pressuring them not to. The ministry did publicly announce the rate of increase for tuition. They do this every year, the maximum being 5.64%. So if you are going to raise tuition, 5.64% is the maximum rate at which you can raise it. However, it's also very much pressuring schools by sending public notices and even rolling calls saying, what are your plans for tuition? Can you not raise it? We would like you to not raise it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the education office is kind of your boss. So,
True.
Yeah.
Whatever
if you're-
they say goes.
Right. So there's a bit of friction where
Yeah.
students are hopefully benefiting. But despite this, some private universities in Busan, they are looking into raising tuition. Donga University, I believe, last year raised their tuition after years of freezing tuition. So once we have more numbers in from different schools, we'll let you know. But yeah, that kind of silent war is going on.
Yeah, it seems like students these days not only have to consider things like what departments and what majors schools have. Is the school even going to accept me with my student score? But they also have to consider let's say the price of tuition.
Exactly. I mean that's more concerns for parents. But
Yeah.
if you want to go to this very prestigious private school, that's a real thing versus a regional national university. There's pay. Money is always a factor.
맞아요. Well, thank you so much for that. What's next?
All right, BTS, at least faces of BTS, will be gone from Busan.
Oh.
Why, you might ask?
What do you mean by this?
All right, so BTS's agency, Hive, they've been asking local governments to take down any installations or likeness of BTS members, citing IP, intellectual property rights. So you've probably seen it. For instance, Samcheok City in Gangwon Province, they have a beachside statue of the members. And also the Defense Ministry has been using the members' names and photos on their soldiers' military app. Like, for example, because we used to use name Hong Gil-dong for John Doe, but they would use Jeon Jung-kook. For example, if you want to write a letter to your loved one, you can say dear. You can address it to something something unit something troop something in Jeon Jung-kook, something like that. So this also happened in Busan a couple of years ago. Namgu District had to take down a photo spot that they've painted with Jimin's face after he visited Oryukdo. So we haven't received any notices, we being Busan, since then. But we do have a few spots with BTS members' faces, with Jimin and Jungkook being from Busan. So their faces are painted on one of the murals at Kamcheon Culture Village. And there's a V, like the member V, photo zone at Citizens Park. 'Cause I believe he went there as well. And these are quite popular with not only fans, but also foreign tourists as well, who are also fans. But the thing is, of course, it is intellectual property. It is their rights of portrait. So Hive is of the position that they will no longer allow for their artists, any of their artists, names or likeness to be used in government projects. So, and that's because, people can draw graffiti on them. They can vandalize it. So that'll kind of decrease the image of the artist. So these will not be available in the future.
Yeah, so it seems like their agency is gatekeeping, the likeness of all their artists. But I do want our listeners to know that my face is available to put on whatever building that you want.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Why not? If you can't put on BTS,
I was like, what?
Let's go for the next best thing. Okay, use my likeness.
You're the next best thing?
I'm just saying I'm an option. All right, the option's there for you.
Yeah, you do that. I'm gonna go and draw mustaches on it.
I'm not gonna be stingy with my face. Okay. All right. What's next?
All right. Moving up. Have you ever been to Haeundae? I'm assuming you've been to Haeundae.
Oh, where's that?
With that place, the blue with the sand, and then if you look straight to the right as you're facing the water, I don't know what direction, there's a 포장마차. So on the street, like the tent vendors and the carts.
That's the first place I ever tried.
산낙지?
No, not 산낙지. Well, 산낙지 too, but a live shrimp.
Oh.
Yeah. It was really gruesome too. Like this,
it's moving.
It's moving. She'll put it into that C shape, grab it by its head and tail. And sorry to be very graphic, but take off,
the shell. Oh, yikes.
And then put it dip it in soy sauce. And she told me to take a bite out of it. I was like, okay.
Okay. And
Munch.
what are you going to do? Just going to bite. Well, I mean, that memory might just be in your memory now because that 포장마차 zone is going away.
Oh, that's right. This was huge news.
Yeah. So the district actually has a 23-year history. I mean, it was there long before. By the way, this is the iffy thing. Those vendors are illegal. They're unregistered. But then they kind of became weirdly official back in 2001 because that area got cleaned up and organized for the 2002 World Cup.
Oh, it's you're
weirdly 인증.
It's like you're recognizing. All right, we'll clean it up because
we're not going to just
it's an actual thing.
It's an actual thing. So they had to kind of follow by regulation. They were required to have the same size and shape. And it became a major tourist area. So you've been there. I've been there.
Yeah.
And even a favorite of stars during BIF season, the International Film Festival season.
Yes.
So for a while, they would go and hang out and fans would be there. However, during the pandemic, there was a petition that was lodged that the structures were illegal. And of course, with declining business, the owners did decide to agree to shut down the entire area.
Wow.
So they will be gone by the end of this month. So yeah. But I mean, I actually didn't realize that they were illegal, unregistered.
Yeah. I mean, last time I went, I didn't think it was like, messy or anything. I thought it was like pretty.
They are very well organized,
Yeah.
but I think in terms of like tax codes and things like so, in terms of payment, right? So I mean, I'm not going to encourage you to go, but I'm just saying it's going to be gone at the end of the month. The businesses they did agree to shut down, but they are asking for support in how to proceed afterwards. So as for the site itself, now it's going to be a whole big empty space.
Yeah.
It is being looked into for something that serves public purpose, including a parking lot or a park. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm glad they're deciding to use that maybe instead of like putting up a building instead of allowing people to make a living. But that's big part of history of Busan history, specifically Hyundai, will be gone. Haley, real quick, we have time for one more bit of news.
All right. So for a while, the Busan Museum of Art will not be available because it's undergoing construction.
네.
However, why don't you shimmy over to Ulsukdo to the Busan Museum of Contemporary Art, 현대미술관? They are packed in terms of their exhibitions and exhibits this year. 11 exhibits to strengthen their identity. Something with local artists this February on locality. A show on curiosity and attention in March. It's Biennale season this summer, so definitely check that out.
다시 왔네요,
Artist
Biennale.
백남준, the 백남준.
Yes.
A retrospective will be going on this coming November.
Ooh,
So
okay.
Ulsukdo is always exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely check that out.
Yeah, with the representative museum here in the Hyundai area, closed for like a while too, right? For the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So many people, like you said,
And
are
they
going to
have a
shimmy
really
over.
cool library in the basement and a children's section too.
Ooh,
so
yes.
yeah. As the resident nerd, gotta point that out.
맞습니다. All right, TMI Busan. That's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for all these updates, Haley. We'll see you back here next week.
See ya.
Bye. All right, folks, that'll do for hour number 1. To take us out, this is Tubble with Goodbye Yesterday. We'll see you back here at 7.
다운이 삶은 칼치 플러스. 닦고 닦고 또 닦은 수건은 가운데서 냄새가.
그래서 모서리를 닦아요.
새로운 다운이는 삶은 것 같은 탈취 효과로 30번 닦아도 계속
상쾌해.
다운이 삶은 탈취 플러스.
Hi everyone, I'm Catherine from Morning Wave in Busan. Do you turn into a hideous monster every time you're behind the wheel? Feeling a little guilty? Well, Busan drivers ranked the lowest in a national survey for driving behavior. But if we practice good driving etiquette, we can all become gentler beings. Here are 2 things to keep in mind. First up, when you're changing lanes, make sure to use your blinker. And second, although I do love getting text messages from all of you, Don't text and drive. That's a no-no. Good driving etiquette equals safety for all. This campaign is brought to you by Morning Wave in Busan on BEFM. Oh, by the way, tune in to Morning Wave in Busan to get real-time traffic updates. You know your morning commute's better with me, Kat.
김밥가게 박 사장님도 문구점 김 사장님도 우리 부산의 경제를 움직이는 사람들. 우리 동네 작은 가게로 향하는 발걸음이 우리 부산의 경제를 키워가는 한 걸음입니다. 부산 방송광고 발전 협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크.
시끄러워 죄송합니다.
Inside Out Busan.
Inside Out Busan.
인사이드 아웃 부산.
인사이드 부산.
인싸이다 부산. 인싸이다 부산.
Welcome back, listeners. 7 o'clock. That means it's time for hour number 2. Número 2 de Inside Out Busan. 네, Inside Out Busan입니다. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. 반갑습니다. Thank you so much for deciding to hang out with me on this Tuesday evening. I do hope your Tuesday is going rather well. A couple messages that we need to get to from 토끼님 saying 저는 병원 마감런 한 적 있어요. 요즘 병원에는 일주일에 한 번 직장인을 위해 저녁 8시까지 합니다. 아주 배려해주는 병원이네요. Just for all the office workers out there, they have she goes to a hospital that specifically has one day out of the week they open until 8 p.m. just so the office workers, can get whatever they need fixed. 맞아요. 아주 좋은 병원이고 좋은 의사 선생님들 있는 것 같습니다. Thank you so much, 토끼님. We also have 모모님 saying 백남준 전시 기다려지네요. 빠르고 좋은 정보 감사합니다. 모모님. My pleasure. You are welcome. That's what we do here on Inside Out Busan, providing you with some of the most up-to-date, best information. All right, hour number 2, we're going to kick things off with On the Mic. This is the segment where we get to share the stories of you, the citizens of Busan. Let's see who we have for today.
안녕하세요, 제니입니다. 네, 여러분. 요즘 평균 수명이 늘어나면서 건강 관리는 필수가 되었죠. 건강 관리에는 빠질 수 없는 아주 필수적인 것이 있는데요. 바로 운동입니다. 그 중에서도 오늘은 요가 강사님을 모시고 인터뷰 진행해 보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. 수영구에서 요가 강사로 일하고 있는 레이나입니다.
네, 만나서 반갑습니다. 이렇게 요가 강사로 활동을 하고 계신다고 하셨는데 요가 강사 일을 처음 시작하게 되신 계기가 무엇인지 알 수 있을까요?
예. 저는 원래 어렸을 때부터 무용을 했는데요. 그래서 자연스럽게 무용을 전공을 했었고요. 그러다가 부상을 입게 됐어요. 그래서 너무 스트레스도 많이 받고 힘들고 마음도 힘들고 몸도 아프고 그러던 중에 친구가 요가를 한번 해보지 않겠느냐고 요청을 해서 한번 나도 해보면 어떨까 이렇게 생각하고 해봤는데요. 몸에 무리를 주지 않으면서 또 정신 수양도 되는 것 같고 이렇게 마음이 안정이 되고 그동안 스트레스 받았던 것도 좀 많이 없어지고 자연히 이렇게 몸도 조금 낫는 기분이 들고 그래서 그 매력에 빠져서 이렇게 요가 강사 일을 하게 됐습니다.
그렇다면 되게 많은 수강생들을 또 받고 계실 것 같아요. 근데 이 수강생분들은 보통 어떤 목적을 가지고 이렇게 요가를 처음 시작하게 되시는 건지 궁금합니다.
요가를 배우러 오시는 분들이 참 다양하거든요. 어린이부터 노년에 이르기까지 다양한 층이 오고 계시거든요. 그래서 보통 어린아이들 같은 경우에는 성장하는 거, 키가 좀 크고 싶고 바른 몸으로 이렇게 크고 싶다는 그런 요구, 부모님들의 요구에서 그런 목적을 가지고 오고요. 또 요즘에는 학생들이 공부한 학생들도 좀 간혹 오는데 그 정신적인 그 안정감도 있고요. 그리고 공부를 하다 보니까 아무래도 몸이 좀 틀어지고 이런 부분이 있어서 그 몸 교정을 위해서도 좀 오는 친구들이 있더라고요. 그래서 젊은 층들은 다이어트 목적을 가지고 오는 친구들도 있고요. 근데 중장년층에서는 어떻게 운동을 잘못하면 부상을 입을 수도 있고 또 힘들고 안 하시다가 운동을 하면 또 힘드시기도 하고 그러니까 스트레칭을 위주로 하기도 하고 또 마음 수양을 또 위주로 하기도 하고 이러면서 그 가운데 근력 운동도 포함이 되어 있기 때문에 자연스럽게 근력도 올라가고 또 마음의 안정도 찾으시고 이런 부분이 있기 때문에 노년층들은 중노년층들은 또 그걸 목적으로 오시는 분들도 있고 이렇게 다양합니다. 또 그 임산부도 있거든요. 임산부분들도 가끔 오시는데 그분들은 출산에 도움을 주고 그렇게 하기 때문에 그런 것들을 목적으로 해서 이렇게 오시는 분들이 있습니다.
정말 다양한 분들이 많이 오시는 것 같은데 그렇다면 이건 저도 개인적으로 굉장히 궁금했던 부분인데 선생님께서도 운동이 하기 싫으실 때가 있는지 그리고 만약에 있다면 어떻게 대처하시는지 궁금합니다.
물론 있죠. 저도 운동하기 싫을 때가 있는데 가끔 잠을 못 자고 막 피곤할 때가 있고 나도 쉬고 싶다 하기 싫다 이럴 때가 있어요. 근데 제가 직업이 강사이니까 어쩔 수 없이 운동을 해야 돼요. 근데 그 수강생분들하고 요가를 하다 보면 몸이 또 자연스럽게 풀리고 내가 그 좀 싫고 지쳐있던 마음이 충전이 된다고 해야 될까? 그렇게 해서 다시 도움을 받고 있습니다.
네, 좋습니다. 그렇다면 다양한 수강생분들을 또 만나고 이 일을 하시면서 기억에 남는 에피소드가 있으신가요?
앞에서 말씀드렸는데 임산부 요가를 하셨던 분 중에서 출산에 도움이 되는 그 요가 자세 이런 것들을 배우시고 막상 출산에 임하셨을 때 그것들을 기억이 나서 그대로 했는데 금방 아이를 낳으신 거예요. 그래서 뭐 말로는 10분 만에 아기를 낳았어요 하면서 아기를 낳고 오셔가지고 그렇게 얘기를 하시면서 너무 감사하다고 그렇게 하시고 또 조금 지나서 출산 후 요가를 또 다시 시작해서 몸을 다시 예전으로 회복하셨던 분이 계셨는데 그 참 기억에 남았습니다.
네, 그렇다면 이제 저희의 마지막 질문입니다. 우리 선생님의 앞으로의 목표가 어떻게 되는지 궁금합니다.
이 공부를 하고 있다 보니까 이 공부의 깊이가 굉장히 깊어요. 그래서 그 본 고향에 가서 또 배우고 싶은 마음도 있고 또 세계 여러 나라를 다니면서 요가를 하신 분들이 굉장히 많이 있더라고요. 동호회도 있고 그래서 그분들을 만나서 한번 소통을 해보고 같이 요가를 해보고 그런 기회를 갖는 게 앞으로의 목표입니다.
네, 오늘 이렇게 함께 해주셔서 너무 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you to our reporter Jenny and to today's open mic interviewee, Reina, who is a yoga instructor. Reina sounds such like a yoga instructor name. It sounds, I don't know, just hearing the name, you already sound like, it's like giving me the sense of peace and calm, right? Instructor Reina. So a little bit about her. She mentioned she studied dance, but after a significant injury, a friend had introduced her to yoga. She fell in love with it and has now become a yoga instructor, right? So that's how she started. She mentioned most of her students, the students that she teaches, ranges from kids to even seniors, the elderly. There's nobody that, yoga doesn't work with because, yoga is something that I feel like, especially if you start at an early age and you get into the habit of it, it could provide so many benefits. And this is coming from a person like me who has never done yoga before. I've only heard a lot of testimonies. So, goals she mentioned, when it comes to her classes and teaching, she wants to enhance the concentration levels and skills of her students, fixing their postures, building strength, as well as providing even prenatal yoga. She mentioned a good number of her students, right, are expecting mothers. Now, she did mention, she admitted, like everyone else, she sometimes feels unmotivated. I think with any type of career, industry that you're in, there does come a point where everything's just so hard, everything's just so mundane, like you don't want to do it, especially when she gets tired, because she is human. 사람이잖아요. But she highlighted, when she does get to her classes, right? Even though she's tired, when she does, continue with her classes, she always gets these positive feelings, positive effects, and it relieves a lot of that fatigue for her. Lastly, she mentioned her future goals. She mentioned practicing yoga at the place of its origin, right? And meeting fellow yogis from around the world. That sounds like a cool thing to do. Yeah, it's just to be in, where it all happened, right? Reina-님, best of luck to you, and if you can, fill us in. If you got to, achieve this goal of yours, yeah, we would love to hear about your experiences. Thank you so much to our reporter, Jenny. That was today's On the Mic. Let's take a quick song break. We'll be back. This is 볼빨간 사춘기 with 사랑할 수밖에.
싶었어 내 안에 남은 사랑까지 지켜주고 싶었어 널 감싼 세상이 혹여나 너를 아프게 하진 않을까 난 더 아름다운 사람이 되어 널 지켜줄 거야 널 사랑할 수밖에 없는 날 알잖아 멀리서 바라만 봐도 마음이 아픈 오직에도 끝없는 사랑을 어떻게 할 수 없어 두 손에 꽂힐 뿐이야 당황스러웠어 내 고인 눈물이 감추고 싶었어 내 안에 남은 욕심들을 한 걸음 물러섰어 내 여린 마음에 혹여나 널 더 아프게 하진 않을까 난 더 아름다운 사람이 되어 널 지켜줄 거야 널 사랑할 수밖에 없는 날 알잖아 멀리서 바라만 봐도 마음이 아픈 오직에도 끝없는 사랑을 어떻게 할 수 없어 두 손에 꽂은 도시게 빛이 나는 그댈 보면 이 시간은 영원히 되어 닳고 닳아도 사랑할 수밖에 난 더 아름다운 사람이 되어 널 지켜줄 거야 널 사랑할 수밖에 없는 날 알잖아 멀리서 바라만 봐도 마음이 아픈 오직에도 끝없는 사랑을 어떻게 할 수 없어 두 손에 꽂힐 뿐이야
볼빨간 사춘기 with Excuse me. 사랑할 수밖에. Welcome to the program. It's 7:13 on the clock. It's Inside of Busan, hour number 2 of the show. I'm your host, Min Soo-shin. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me give you a quick update on the weather as well as the traffic. Busan City seeing 7 degrees Celsius on the thermometers, thermostats, wherever you are. If you're outside, you wouldn't see a thermostat outside though. Tomorrow expecting morning low of 4 degrees and afternoon high of 13. So like I mentioned in the first hour, tomorrow will be cloudy. So clouds will be sticking around all day actually. And then into late night, there's a chance of rain. But the good news is the air quality will be good throughout the day. 내일 부산은 흐리겠습니다. 밤부터는 비가 오는 곳도 있겠고요. 그래서 여러분 단디 챙기세요. When it comes to the traffic, congestion over on 낙동북로 from 강서구청 going towards 구포대교 Bridge, 구포대교 Junction, excuse me. There's also congestion on 중앙대로 from 부산시청, that's City Hall, going towards Yeonsan Junction. Slow-moving traffic on 가야대로 from Judae Junction going towards Naengjeong Station. Everybody drive safe. 안전운전 부탁드리겠습니다. All right, so today, in the first half of the show, first hour, we started talking about open runs. Not just open runs at 백화점s, open runs at, clothing shops, open runs at your favorite bakery. 요즘 오픈런 어디서 하냐면요. 병원에서도 많이 합니다. Especially when it comes to like pediatric hospitals, right? Or pediatric departments, wards. They have so many parents with their kids in line super early in the morning just so that their kid can see a doctor. We've talked about news. We've covered the news of the lack of pediatricians and experts in treating children. There's a lack of it in Korea, and then you add on top of that just so many kids getting sick these days. The cold and the flu. 제 딸도 기침 가래가 진짜 안 없어집니다, right? So I think we might even have to take her back to the hospital again, because it's something about this current cold that's going around that will not go away. So because of this. And parents, especially when there's families of both parents that have to work, 맞벌이 부부는 이런 것도 하고 있습니다. They hire somebody to stand in line for them at the pediatrician. That is both good news and bad news. Well, in terms of bad news, it tells you the current situation, just how hard it is, how difficult it is for parents to see their kid's doctor. But the good news is, hey, sounds like more opportunities for work and for jobs, right? 저도 가끔씩 아침 시간 조금 여유로울 때 있는데 나도 이런 오픈런 대기 알바? I guess, is that the name for it? 대기 알바? 또 한번 해볼까 싶은데 because all you gotta do is just go, take the number, tell them your name. Not your name, obviously the kid's name. But it's like, that's how people cope with the current situation. So I asked our listeners, what kind of open run have you done in your life? We had a couple people doing open runs at bakeries. We had a lot of people telling us about their open run experiences or their kids' open run experiences. Kids as in, parents of their grandkids. So it seems like, open run at hospitals is 요즘 이게 병원이 hot place인 것 같습니다. But not in a good way. Not in a good way. We also have a follow-up message from 모모님 saying 소아과 줄 서는 어플이 유료화되어서 조금 아쉬워요. 맞습니다. Yeah, so that's like the one thing that could get a lot of people, 줄 서기 app, 좋은데? And then they see that, 1,000원 a month? But if you find yourself, I feel like going to hospitals, I don't know, once a week or maybe once every couple of weeks, 2 weeks, at least once a month, 좀 도움 될 것 같습니다. 특히 시간 많이 없는 분들 있잖아요. 직장인들, 부모들, 그렇죠. Another message that came in from 이거 아이디 이름이 제가 볼 때 그림이나 이모티콘으로 해서 그냥 땡땡땡으로 나오는데요. 우리 땡땡땡님 중학생 때 수학 여행으로 어디랜드 땡땡랜드 알죠? 거기 가서 친구랑 놀이기구 오픈런 해봤어요. 맞아요. 그죠? That's like one of the hot places of open runs at the amusement parks. here in Korea. I'm talking about those big ones. You know, like the two big ones I could think of over. Pretty much all throughout the year 놀이공원에서 오픈런 하는 사람들 많죠. 왜냐면 제일 재밌는 거를 한 번이 타기 좀 아쉬우니까 최대한 일찍 가서 be the first ones to ride that roller coaster of a ride, and then after you hop off, get back in line. then 아마 다시 줄 서게 되면 그때 좀 대기가 좀 길어지죠. 그래도 뭐 2번 정도는 탈 수 있잖아요, right? So that's the open run a lot of people do. So I've mentioned I've done open runs at restaurants. I've done open runs at shops for clothes, for shoes even. The longest I've waited for an open run, during an open run was probably 한 1시간 반 정도 기다려본 적도 있어요, right? And this was for food, yeah? So thank you so much for sharing with all your experiences. Thank you so much to particularly one person who we're going to announce as today's gift receiver. Congratulations to Momo님 on our YouTube. You are the winner of today's prize. 네, 모모님 축하드립니다. Thank you so much for your messages. Our 작가님 is going to get in touch with you. So don't go anywhere. 모모님 아직 나가신 거 아니죠? Because we do need to get in touch with you right here. Or you need to get down information from the YouTube chat on how to receive your prize. A big thank you to everybody else that participated in today's text topic. All right, without further ado, let's get to today's 인싸의학. It's Tuesday, time for 인싸의학 with Dr. Ryu. Dr. Ryu, 안녕하십니까?
안녕하세요. Dr. Ryu입니다. 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다, Dr. Ryu.
네.
Dr. Ryu, before coming on for your segment, you've been very busy typing away over on the YouTube chats.
Yes.
그래서 제가 일부러 원장님 채트를 안 읽었거든요.
Okay.
But tell us about, because you work at a hospital. Today we're talking about open runs at hospitals.
Okay.
How is it from a person that runs, a clinic?
Open run. Well, we're living in. Yes. To be honest with you.
네.
Don't quote me on this one, please.
네. So this is Dr. Ryu's personal opinion.
This is my personal opinion. Yes. I think it's one of the tactics to lure as many patients as possible.
Really? So you see it as just a marketing kind of method?
Yeah, and also that's why some clinics don't adapt to the kind of internet booking system. Rather just let people stand in line during at the crack of dawn.
네.
그런 거죠. 그러면은 people might think, oh, what's going on in this place?
I see.
이런 것도 있.
그 오픈런 하는 그 자체가 it's like you see it as 그 정도까지 안 해도 되는데 because you see people lining up 다른 사람들이 일찍 가니까 나도 일찍 가야겠다라고 이 mindset.
And also another marketing. What's going on? This the famous is the real the doctor is that they capable of seeing?
Is this a line for Dr. Ryu 신경외과? The Dr. Ryu who comes out every Tuesday evening at the second hour of 인싸의학 Busan for 인싸의학? 줄 서야지. 아무것도 난 문제 없는데 줄 서야지.
Yeah.
그러지 마세요. 진짜 아픈 사람들만 줄 서야 될 것 같아요. 네.
I think so. We're living in this capitalism society, so we don't. I did a little bit of a devil's advocate, but just. Don't take it seriously.
맞아요. Of course, this is just Dr. Ryu's opinion.
Yes.
But there's also in English we call that hype, right? Hype when something nobody knows exactly what it is, but because so many people do it, talk about it, say stuff about it, that you get interested just because other people are interested.
맞아요.
네. So I think that this hype phenomena of open run does play a little bit into so many people lining up, right? I can see it working I could see your idea working for, let's say, shops and stuff. 근데 요즘 감기가 너무 심해서 감기가 많이 걸린 사람들도 많고 you probably see more people, maybe not particularly at your clinic because, you don't specifically deal with colds, but I'm sure for your other doctor buddies at hospitals that deal with, patients with colds and flus, I'm sure they've been really busy.
Yeah, 맞습니다. 저도 before being a neurologist, I covered some other basic family physician training course. That's why some of my patients, they want me to prescribe some of their flu medicines. So, and also I got the U.S. medical license, as I told you guys earlier. So that's why I get to see a lot of patients with minor diabetic patients and hypertension patients, some other basic family medicine patients I deal with.
네.
So that's why I get to see some flu patients and I get to see a lot of variety kinds of patients as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Dr. Liu, let's get to today's 인싸의학. Every Tuesday, Dr. Liu comes on board to cover, just a topic, especially when it comes to just health, right?
Okay.
But we do always like to start off with your 아재 개그. I feel like if we don't get to your 아재 개그, it's like something like 그런 거 있잖아요. It's like like 뭐가 기분이 이상한데, 뭐가 좀 찝찝한 느낌 나는데, because we didn't get to your 아재 개그.
Okay, it gives me a lot of pressure on my shoulder,
Yes.
actually.
Please give us this refreshing feeling.
Okay.
By providing us your 아재
Okay,
개그.
our Korean, 우리 한국 대한민국. I watched the TV soccer match last night.
Yes, South Korea and Bahrain.
Yes,
대한민국.
Tan. And also one of the players is very, very outstanding. I'm not going to mention his name. He's so famous. He is now running in Paris. Okay. 다 알죠, 이강인.
네, 알죠.
그런 사람들 있죠. 그 발이 정말 대단하죠.
그렇죠.
엄청난 그런 스킬도 있고.
네.
그렇게 해서 발이 이렇게 유명한 사람들을 뭐라 그럴까요?
발이 유명한 사람들?
예, 그렇게 해요.
발이
What do you
유명한
call a
사람들?
person whose feet are so famous? So
Is this Korean or English? The answer.
it can be both.
Oh, it can be both? 작가님, 우리 발이 유명한 분들을 뭐로 부르죠? 전 생각이 안 납니다. 이건 좀 어렵네요. Dr. Liu, 뭐라고 불러요?
바리스타.
뜨둥. 맞네요. 바리스타.
I'm afraid I might get assassinated.
바리스타이니까요. 아니요, 좋았어요.
Oh, really?
I never even thought of that, right? 바리스타. 감사합니다, Dr. Liu. But let's get to today's 인싸의학. What are we covering today?
Okay, today I'm going to cover avascular necrosis, Korean 무혈성 골괴사.
Avascular necrosis. Yeah, I don't know what avascular means. Necrosis is like the dying of something.
That's
right.
Cell dying.
Okay.
Avascular means vascular라는 건 혈관을 말하는 것이고요.
네.
Avascular은 absence of blood supply. The reason why I brought this up today?
Why?
Recently, I saw two patients. I diagnosed them with this kind of AVN.
Is this another like fancy scientific term for like frostbite?
I'm not
it's
sure
not.
actually.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyhow, the reason why I brought this up is a few days ago I read an article that says they were saying about the recently 20s or younger generations, like 30s, they are suffering from this kind of avascular necrosis,
Really?
especially after binge drinking. Party.
오케이. 술 많이 마시는 젊은 분들 이 컨디션을 많이 봐요?
이게 젊은 사람들한테도 우리나라 사람들한테도 나타나고.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't sound good.
No. 그래서 얼마 전에 I saw woman who is late 40s. And then she was diagnosed with AVN because she drank and she smoked. That's why she got her hip replaced.
Okay.
So I already gave away the answer. But anyhow, the AVN,
Yes.
avascular necrosis, 무혈성 골괴사가 이제 생기는 거죠. 술
네.
많이 마시고. 젊은 사람들.
So people
Yes.
that, particularly, especially when they drink a lot, this is something that they could be a risk of. But what exactly is AVN, avascular necrosis?
Okay.
정확히 뭡니까?
정확히 말씀드리면 it's a pathology where our blood cannot go through our bony tissue. Our bone is not a stationary kind of a organ in our body. It changes continuously. When it's deprived of unable to supply, the cells are dying and our bones are dying.
Yes.
그래서 피가 여러분 손톱도 혈액 공급이 돼서 이 손톱이 자라고
네.
뼈도 계속 움직이면서 계속 리모델링이 되는데요.
네.
뼈에 피 공급을 못 받게 됐을 때 뼈가 죽는 거죠.
그렇죠.
뼈가 썩어 나가는 거죠.
네.
썩어 나가면은 생선 썩는 거, 사람 썩는 거 다 똑같죠. 썩는 거 피가 안 통하면은.
네.
그런 거예요.
Okay. Ooh, this doesn't sound good.
No.
네.
And I mentioned one of the most common reasons causing this kind of a symptom problem is alcohol drinking, binge drinking. You know what? A few years back, CDC, Center for Disease Control, World Health Organization, they proclaim that reveal the guidelines for alcohol drinking. Just before 2022, they say that moderate drinking alcohol is good for our heart attack, preventing heart attack and also stroke and some other health beneficial. But since 2022 April, they changed the guideline. Which is no alcohol is better than drinking less.
그렇죠. 이게 it's like 당연한 건데, but like you have to let actually people know that, you know, because people enjoy
people
drinks.
enjoy.
I'm not saying everybody enjoys drinks, but to adhere to people that it's like saying, oh, like I'm not going to listen to WHO like in the first place at all. Then if they're going to tell me like not to drink, but still that's the amount of effort you need to put in to be as healthy as possible. If you can, just don't drink.
That's right.
There's probably no, like there might be like couple one or two benefits, but 99, 98 other bad things that could happen to your body because you drink.
Yeah, I think it's another explanation for this. I think a lot of people are working in this kind of alcoholic beverage industry might be involved in this kind of situation. That's why they have to take all these kind of things into consideration. Anyhow, that's one of the factors that are causing AVN. It's a blockage of blood supply to any part of our bone, which can cause AVN. For instance, our hip joint, which is most commonly presented when it comes to AVN. There's a small blood vessels that are supplying the head of our hip joint. Well, our hip joint, 이거 제가 우리 힙 조인트에 대해서 설명을 하게 되면은 when we look at the anatomy of our hip joint, it's like a ball and socket. 이게 socket인데 이게 그 socket하고 볼 사이에 있는 그 연골도 있고 거기에 피가 다 통해야 돼요.
그렇죠.
근데 그 혈관이 되게 얇아요.
네네.
예, 근데 그 혈관이 얇은데 그게 술을 많이 마시거나 아니면 or when you are smoking a lot 아니면은 when your blood viscosity gets increased, maybe 찐득찐득해지는 거죠. Sticky blood. For instance, you are hyperlipidemic, like high cholesterolemia. 이런 경우에도 이제 생길 수 있겠고요. 또 제가 본 환자 한 분은 he is a cancer patient. When you most of cancers make our blood kind of makes our blood very sticky. 그러니까 암이 걸리게 되면은 피가 찐득찐득하게 되는 경향이 있어가지고요. 암이 걸린 사람들도 이렇게 무혈성 골두 괴사가 생기는 경우가 많이 있습니다. Most of cases it's involving our hip joints.
Okay.
It's over 70%. 하지만 shoulder joints도 연결이 되고 있고.
네네. That's what I was thinking.
예, 그런 경우도 생길 수가 있습니다.
Yeah, like the thing part of our bodies probably closest to you mentioned like hip joints probably are like, you know, shoulders. Because that's all about like, you know, the joint and socket and everything. Then what do people experience or go through, like the symptoms of AVN that makes you like, you know, what could they be going through? They'd be like, oh, can I have AVN? Do I have AVN? What are the symptoms of AVN?
오케이, 정말 이거 중요한 거예요. 우리 닥터신께서 제 얘기를 잘해주셨어요.
네.
페인이 제일 중요합니다. 페인.
아, 고통.
네. 페인인데.
Where?
그쵸. Where? 여러분 사타구니예요. 사타구니. 사타구니를 영어로 groin이라 그래요. groin.
네.
groin area. 사타구니에 통증이 있어요.
Okay.
Especially when you put weight on that hip joint. 그럴 때.
네.
And also that pain radiates to the back of your hip joints. The buttock, the posterior side.
네.
그러니까 뒤쪽을 말하는 거죠. 엉덩이 뒤쪽 사타구니 쪽에 통증이 있는데 발을 디딜 때마다 통증이 있는 거예요.
네.
이게 중요한 사인이에요. 그래서 여러분 술 마시고 그 다음날 젊은 사람들 나이가 젊다고 너무나 방심하지는 마세요. 이런 게 생길 수 있으면은 즉시 병원에 가봐야 돼요.
Okay. So pain in the groin area, this is something that you do need to be on the lookout for. Then, let's say we have pain in the groin area and you might think, okay, I might have AVN. Obviously, you go to a hospital, right? How is it diagnosed then? X-ray or?
X-ray. 근데 X-ray가 좋은데요. When it's, we want to catch any kind of disease at its early stage.
Of course.
So when it comes to AVN, in its early stage, it's really hard to tell whether this patient is having AVN or not.
아, okay.
그래서 엑스레이를 찍어서 보서 이상이 있으면은요.
네.
조금 늦은 경우가 있어요.
X-ray에서 그만큼 잘 보이면 좀 늦은 편이다. Then how do they? I mean, what's more detailed than X-ray? Like CT scans?
MRI 스캔.
MRI.
뼈에 대한 거는 MRI가 가장 센시티브해요.
네.
염증도 마찬가지고 아주 조그마한 것도.
네.
그래서 우리 코리아에서는 MRI가 조금 비싸긴 비싸도
네.
다른 나라나 다른 데 비해서는 나름대로 잘 찍을 수 있어요. 30만 원, 40만 원, 50만 원 정도. 그리고 또 MRI가 이게 그레이드가 있거든요. High Resolution MRI 스캐닝 머신이 있는데 우리나라는 거의 다 always
they're all the standard is high resolution.
Yes, high resolution.
Right.
정말 업그레이드 하거든요. 계속해서.
대한민국 그 정도입니다.
예, 그래서 계속돼서 MRI 스캔 찍으면은 이제 바로 알 수가 있습니다.
Okay. So let's say then you do get the MRI scan and you're diagnosed with AVN. Is it treatable? Because you mentioned there comes to a point where it's a little on the late side. Does that mean like it's not treatable?
When it's in its late stage.
네.
The options are limited. Just
really,
yes, surgical procedure. But doctors are trying to salvage the genuine indigenous joints as much as possible. So last resort, the last option is hip replacement surgery.
That's right. I have heard of that. What exactly is hip replacement surgery?
사이보그처럼 그 뼈를 잘라가지고 인공 관절을 넣는 거죠. Like 인공 artificial joints that might be made of some ceramics or some metal stuff.
As a kid, I've always was curious when they, whenever I hear like a hip replacement surgery, I always think, oh, do they like take out like the whole like hip bone and they put like in like this, this made thing that's made out of metal, like this robot hip inside of people. But you mentioned sometimes made out of ceramic, and they just replace that portion where, let's say, AVN just has totally taken over.
Yeah. Let me describe a little bit in detail. If you look at the 보이는 라디오, I told you that hip joint is like a hip balance weight socket. 뭐라고 소켓이라 그랬죠. 그래서 우리 골반이 있으면 socket part 이쪽에 이제 뼈를 갈아가지고 이제 socket처럼 생긴 그 메탈로 된 거 이런 거 있잖아요. 타이타늄 뭐죠? 그런 터미네이터스처럼 타이타늄 같은 걸 딱 붙이고 그 다음에 이제 피머넥이 이렇게 생겨 있는데 목을 완전히 다 잘라내고 거기다가 이제 인공으로 이렇게 동그랗게 이 야구공처럼 생긴 거 동그랗게 돼가지고 이렇게 일자로 딱 뻗어 있는 거 이제 뼈에다가 박아가지고 딱 연결시키게 됩니다.
Okay. So the very shortened version of a hip replacement described by Dr. Liu. So Dr. Liu, so AVN, I mean, it sounds like something very painful for anybody to go through. Then what should we do to prevent a thing like this from happening to people?
Drink less, but I wanted to not drink in the first place.
Okay.
처음부터 안 마시는 게 좋겠고요.
아 그러면 혹시
예.
특히 이런 분들은 이런 분들이 덜 마시면 좋겠다 because of AVN. Like maybe people more at risk of AVN too.
맞습니다. 역시 정말 대단해요, 우리 신 박사님.
Why, thank you.
네, 다이비티스가 있거나, 스모킹이 있거나, 아니면은 콜레스테롤이 높거나. 예, 또 아니면은 여러분들이 이제 어떤 특별한 캔서 트리트먼트를 받고 있을 경우에, 예, 그 다음에 또 하나 중요한 게 있어요. In the past, long-term steroid use.
오케이.
스테로이드를 오래 전에 썼거나 오랫동안 복용한 사람들 같은 경우에는 생길 수가 있어요. 그래서 one of my patients who was diagnosed with this AVN, he had been treated with the steroid for a long time because he suffered from post-COVID syndrome, and also his lung was about to die at that time because he hooked up his lung to any kind of ventilator machine, and he was lying on an ICU for a while.
Goodness.
예, 그래서 저기 중환자실에서 이렇게 스테로이드를 쓰고 이렇게 코비드로 이제 고통받았던 분이 있는데 이게 AVN이 생겨가지고 수술을 이제 하시게 된 분도 있어가지고요. 이것도 중요해요. 그래서 항상 이런 게 생기면은 당뇨가 있다거나 고지혈증이 있다거나 피가 찐덕찐덕해서 혈액순환이 안 되는 분들한테 생기지만 또 과거에 스테로이드를 많이 복용했던 사람들, 그 다음에 또 그 우리 암 환자분들 같은 경우에 또 에이즈가 있는 분들은 에이즈를 치료받는 과정 중이나 아니면 에이즈가 있는 경우라든지 또는 아니면 출혈이 심해가지고, for instance, you have a gastric bleeding.
Yeah.
For instance, doctors use some anticoagulant agents.
Yeah.
To stop the bleeding. In that case, it might put you in the risk of getting this kind of unfortunate AVN. 그래서 이런 사람들은 주의하는 것이 좋을 것 같습니다.
Okay. With all the conditions you mentioned, 꼭 AVN을 피하기 위해 마시는 게 아니라 그냥 근데 그런 환자분들 그냥 아예 그냥 마시면 안 되는 거죠 원래.
그렇죠.
Right when it comes to consumption of alcohol. But yeah, that's something to another thing to think about. I feel like this is something that they should. I don't know. I'm not saying, everybody should not drink, should stop drinking. Of course, drinking in moderation is very important. But, maybe like you mentioned, like the WHO or like other places, like another reason why not to drink, AVN. Avascular necrosis, right? Because it could happen. Yeah. Interesting. Well, I never even thought, this was an actual condition. Thank you so much for, an actual doctor coming in, certified doctor coming in and introducing to us this condition, avascular necrosis. Now you know. 여러분 이제 알고 계시죠? Dr. Du, before we wrap up, I have a couple of comments to read you. This was around the time you told today's 아재 개그. 아재 개그 할 때쯤 이런 문자들이 들어왔네요. 우리 바른님 생 원장님 화이팅입니다. 네. 이거 아재 개그가 재밌었습니다. 안 그러면 듣고 원장님 화이팅입니다. 이렇게 하는 문자 있잖아요. 그런 의미도 될 수 있고. We have 가보자고님 너무 웃겨서 안 그러면 그냥 너무 놀라서 at the 아재 개그 sending very scared faces. But we also have 땡땡땡님 over on our YouTube. 이거 저의 컴퓨터는 안 보이거든요. 이름이. 근데 이모티콘 웃는 이모티콘 3개 보냈습니다.
감사합니다.
But I feel like a lot of people enjoyed today's because we also have 희수님 on our KakaoTalk saying I like the joke.
Thank you.
희수님이 아직 개그 좋았다면 진짜 웃겼던 거예요.
Really?
네.
레알.
레알입니다. 진짜 레알입니다. Dr. Du, thank you so much. Today covering avascular necrosis. You have a good rest of your week. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
Yeah, see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take a quick song break. This is Asoto Union. Think about you.
있었지 babe 우린 마치 자석 같았어 아름다운 내 손을 처음 잡았을 때나 느껴지는 너와 나 둘만의 사랑 baby yeah oh yeah oh baby 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 I love you baby 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 yeah 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 oh yes you are think about it, think about baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, my baby's you, just you and me tonight. Oh yeah 그 많은 날을 혼자 있었지 babe 마치 얼음처럼 차가웠던 날들 나를 향한 네 미소를 느꼈을 때 내 마음은 이미 타오르는 한여름 서로 미워한 적도 있었지 싸움인지 연애인지 모를 만큼 그때마다 우린 이 노래를 들으면서 yeah. 서로의 얼굴 빤히 보며 웃었던 그 기억 여기서 또 한 번 너와 나 둘만의 사랑이 느껴지네 느껴지네 오늘 밤 baby now when oh baby 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 I love you baby 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 yeah 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 alright baby oh yeah alright think about it think about it think about baby yeah 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 I'm always think about you, girl. Hey, ooh, yeah. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
푸짐한 선물을 원하십니까? 인싸의학 부산이 준비한 소중한 선물. Full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in 거제동 and 연산동, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권. 런지 10세트. A place to entertain your brain and eyes. Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. 뮤지엄 오브 일루전 부산 착시미술관 입장권. 회원님 끝까지 집중하셔야 돼요. 언제나 마시는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 Into Roastery. Coffee voucher and a pack. A fresh coffee whole beans. Sponsored by Into Roastery in 양산. 운동 중인데 향이 좋네요. 자, 회원님 다음 암풀다운 핫돌. A delicious meal voucher from Gorilla Brewing Busan, Gwangan branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 자, 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. 자, 회원님 마지막 덤벨 85kg. we prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky top floor observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 끝까지 해야 됩니다. 끝까지. 자, 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다 부산 X the Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. 회원님 수고하셨습니다. 네, 재밌는 방송 IOB와 함께 선물은 덤으로 지금 바로 참여하세요. 후하 후하.
Welcome back, everybody. As we slowly wrap up today's show, time for the final segment of the day. It is quote unquote. Today talking about open run and waiting in line, right? So today, I brought a quote that has a little bit to do with it. Because, while you're doing an open run, 줄 서고 있을 때 뭐 하고 있어요? waiting 하잖아요. 기다리고 있잖아요. So today's quote is by a person by the name of Joyce Meyer. And Joyce Meyer points out a point about patience. So the quote reads, "Patience is not simply the ability to wait. It's how we behave while we're waiting." This speaks to me. So patience isn't about just waiting. It's basically how we are as a person while we wait. So this quote highlights that patience involves more than the just act of waiting. 그냥 줄 서 있는 게 난 줄 서 있으니까 patience가 있다. No, 이거 아니에요. It's about how we conduct ourselves during that period of waiting. Okay? So maybe for those that might partake in a lot of open runs, 특히 병원에 open run 많이 하면서 에티켓이 중요하잖아요. 그렇죠. So a couple things to keep in mind while you're waiting, while you're doing your open runs, not only at hospitals, but wherever you are. Maintaining a positive attitude is very important. Instead of feeling frustrated about the wait, 맞아. 기다리는 거는 it's not the best experience people can have. See it as an opportunity to slow down and appreciate the moment. 이렇게 가만히 있는 시간이 어디 있어요 in your day, right? So take it as an opportunity for a moment like that. And also being productive, right? Use the time effectively. While you wait, plan out your day. 특히 우리 아침에 병원 오픈런 하는 분들, 오늘 가서 뭐뭐 해야지 미리 머릿속에 정리하고요. Read something, right? That's something that I could do, right? I could do my New Year's resolution while doing open runs, or simply engage in mindful breathing even. And also, 이거 중요한 겁니다. Understand that everybody is in the same situation. 같이 줄 서 있는 분 있잖아요. 분들, 오픈런 하고 있는 분들 다 똑같은 상황에 있는 겁니다. So be courteous of those around you. Also including the staff. 병원이든 가게이든 this can make the experience much more pleasant for everybody if you show empathy and if you show kindness. Okay? So something to think about while you do your next open run. 네, open run의 에티켓도 아마 여러 개 더 있을 건데, this is the type of etiquette I'm sure you want people around you that are also doing open runs to keep in mind and have. Well, that'll do it for the show today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to leave you with our last track by 성시경, 희재. Inside Out Busan was written by Im Soo-jin, and it was hosted and produced by yours truly, Min Soo-shin. Everybody, have a good one.
햇살은 우릴 위해 내리고 바람도 서로를 감싸게 했죠. 우리 웃음 속에 계절은 오고도 갔죠. 바람에 흔들리는 머릿결 내게 불어오는 그대 향기 예쁜 두 눈도 웃음소리도 모두가 내 것이었죠. 이런 사랑 이런 행복 쉽다 했었죠. 이런 웃음 이런 축복 내게 쉽게 올 리 없죠. 눈물조차 흐름조차 닿지 못한 날 정말로 울면 내가 그댈 보내준 것 같아서 그대 떠나가는 그 순간도 나를 걱정했었나요. 무엇도 해줄 수 없는 내 맘 앞에서 그대 나를 떠나간다 해도 난 그댈 보낸 적 없죠. 여전히 그댄 나를 살게 하는 이유 테니. 이런 사랑 이런 행복 쉽다 했었죠. 이런 웃음 이런 축복 내게 쉽게 올 리 없죠. 눈물조차 흐름조차 닿지 못한 날 정말로 울면 내가 그댈 보내준 것 같아서 그대 떠나가는 그 순간도 나를 걱정했었나요. 무엇도 해줄 수 없는 내 맘 앞에서 그대 나를 떠나간다 해도 난 그댈 보낸 적 없죠. 기다림으로 다시 시작일 테니. 얼마나 사랑했는지 얼마나 속상했는지 그대여 한순간조차 잊지 말아요. 거기 떠나는 그곳에서 난 기억할게.
Your Reach to the World. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
다운이 삶은 칼치 플러스. 닦고 닦고 또 닦은 수건은 가운데서 냄새가.
그래서 모서리로 닦아요.
새로운 다운이는 삶은 것 같은 탈취 효과로